Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This is Mango Oblivion Plays, and today we are going to be going over the last bits of Pokemon news before January 2025 ends. So let's get started. First, let's talk about what's happening in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which is our flagship game as of right now. First of all, the very first online competition for 2025 will be taking place from January 31st to February 2nd. You need to register for this event prior to the event's beginning, and you will have to lock your team in when you register. So make sure you are prepared for that team to be your team when you register for the competition. If you participate in 3 battles, you will get 100,000 league points, a gold bottle cap, and an ability patch. So well worth participation. Even if you don't plan on winning a bunch of battles, the items itself, just for participating, are well worth the trip. We also currently don't have any raids planned as of right now following the Screamtail Iron Bundle raids that happened last weekend. Which raises the question, what are future raids and mass outbreaks going to be for Scarlet and Violet moving forward? Are we going to be getting more Mightiest Mark raids? Are we going to be seeing the Paldean starters in raids ever? Are we going to see more legendary Pokemon in raids like the Black Rayquaza? We don't really know. It's something that we're going to have to see moving forward. Nice to speculate about. If there's something you think might happen with raids and outbreaks going forward, let me know in the comments. I'd like to hear your opinions. One more thing, the European International Championships are coming up in February. If you watch these championships on the live streams on Twitch, you can receive various gifts from the Pokemon Company. In Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, you can get a Jumpluff based off of the Latin American champions Jumpluff. You can get that through Mystery Gift, February 21st through the 23rd. If you play on TCG Live, you can get an EVEX code by watching the live stream. And then you can also get a timed research for Pokemon Go, which will also feature Jumpluff if you watch the Pokemon Go streams. So tap into those streams and get those rewards if you can. Speaking of Pokemon Go, let's move on to that game where there's tons of news as well. The Dynamax Kanto birds are still being released. Articuno's week was this past week, and today, the 27th, Zapdos moved into the max spots. So now Zapdos is available in Dynamax battles. Next week, Moltres will appear, and a new slate of Pokemon to go with Moltres in the max spots. So there's still 2 more legendary birds to get in these Dynamax raids. That being said, the Dual Destiny research is continuing as of today as well. The next stage is you're allowed to move on in the task if you've gotten as far as you could go. So you can continue on during that season research task. 3 events were also announced for the coming weeks of February. The Small Yet Strong event will be happening from the 5th through the 8th. The Beloved Buddies event will be happening the 11th through the 15th. And then the event called Scattered to the Winds will be happening through the 18th through the 20th. They've also announced the Road to Unova event, which will be taking place prior to the Unova Tour. The Unova Tour is going to be that big event that's almost like a Pokemon Go Fest at the end of the season. This event is going to be kind of like the lead up to this tour event. Legendary Pokemon from Unova will be appearing in 5-star raids throughout this event that lasts about a week. And there will be paid tickets, there will be free researches during this event, lots of things happening. But as you can see, lots of legendary Pokemon are going to be available during this event in the week leading up to March. 2 more Pokemon have also been announced to be added in as Dynamax Pokemon in Pokemon Go. These Pokemon are Pidove and Darumaka, and they will be premiering on the 17th and the 24th of February. It is interesting that most of the Pokemon that we have been given in these Dynamax possibilities are from Unova, given that Dynamax is specifically a Gen 8 phenomenon. So is this a hint or a lead up to a potential Gen 5 remake? We'll never know until we go into the future, but just something to think about. They're being very heavily focused on these Gen 5 Pokemon, it seems, in Pokemon Go. And that could just be because this is a Nova-based season, and then next season there will be Pokemon from other regions that are added in, or maybe it's something else. We won't know until later. Let's move on to the Pokemon trading card game. First of all, Prismatic Evolutions did release this past week, and it is facing some supply issues. Scalpers have gotten their hands on large quantities of the cards, and they also didn't print very many, and that has caused a limited supply. Nintendo has said that they will be printing more products to try to keep up with this demand, but it's yet to be seen how well they're going to respond to this issue. Hopefully, well. I would hope that they are able to handle this situation since they are such a large international company, but we'll see what happens. The next set in Pokemon cards, Journey Together, will be releasing in March on the 28th, and it's going to feature the return of Trainers Pokemon cards, which was teased at last year's World Championships. They are focusing on N, Hop, Lily, and Iono for this set. So as you can see, I've included N Zoroark, which will be his kind of ace EX Pokemon. Hop is going to be getting Zacian. Lily is going to have Clefairy EX, and then I believe Iono is going to have Bellibolt as her main Pokemon with an EX. But they'll have other Pokemon as well that they've had on their team. So like Hop is going to have like Dubwool and Wooloo. So there'll be other Pokemon with the trainer's name in the title. Pokemon cards have also returned to McDonald's for another year. There are about 15 cards that are available in Happy Meals, and it looks like there will be packs of about 4 cards, as well as a poster and some stickers that you can get in your Happy Meal if you go to McDonald's. Please don't try to come to McDonald's stores and clear out the stores and get all the packs. Kids are looking forward to having these. Other people who collect the cards are looking forward to getting them. Don't be a jerk. Just think it goes without saying in general, our community can be a little toxic. Let's make it less toxic. We can do that. We can make that choice actively. Also, pretty big news out of China. They are finally getting the Scarlet and Violet 151 set. And apparently they'll be getting a special print of Mew EX in that set that's going to be given away at special events throughout China. Only about 1,151-ish of these are going to be printed, and they're going to be given out to people who place well in special events across mainland China. So if you're not in China, you're not going to be able to get this card. It's going to be incredibly rare. Um, so these cards are going to be something special if they ever hit the American market. I bet they'll probably sell for a very high price. It's a very pretty card. I like the art. I wish we were getting it too, but I think it's just for them, which is kind of nice. A little special treatment for China, who's really, for the first time, getting Pokemon products. Let's move on to the other Pokemon trading card game, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. The second full set, Set B, I guess you could call it, has been announced. Space Time Smackdown. It will be featured, it'll be released on the 30th, and it's going to be featuring Pokemon from Sinnoh. The set is going to have over 140 cards, and it's going to come one day after trading is released. Trading is only going to be able to be done through from 1 diamond to 1 star. So you can't trade like immersive rares. You can't trade 2 or 3 or even the new crown rarity cards. This is really just kind of the commons you're going to be able to trade with other people. So if you're missing a common card, you'll be able to trade with others across the game, and that'll be instituted on the 29th. Several cards have been revealed for Space Time Smackdown already, and this includes the Sinnoh starters. They're going to have obviously their cards in here as well, but they also showed off English versions of Dialga EX and Palkia EX. Looks like they're having some pretty powerful attacks, um, and they're probably going to be meta defining, just like Celebi EX was. Just like Mewtwo EX was, these two are going to be very polarizing, I believe, in the game meta. They also showed off this Lucario with this really cool art. It has a great ability in Fighting Coach, which is going to add 20 damage to Fighting type Pokemon attacks. That's pretty powerful. especially in this kind of game. Pachirisu is going to be getting an EX, and it's going to be using the new Pokemon tool cards that are going to be added in this set. So he's going to get more damage based on how many tools are attached, I believe. And then there's going to be a Cynthia card. We don't know what Cynthia's all about yet, but we do know Cynthia is going to be getting a card, which I think we could probably expect. But that's news. Moving on to Legends ZA, the project we have not heard anything about since its release. It was revealed about 9 months ago, and we haven't heard any news about it. Pokemon's being particularly tight-lipped about this game, and I think in general they've been more tight-lipped as of yet because of all the leaks that have happened in their previous games, and they're not particularly happy about it, which I understand. It's their business. I wouldn't want all of my hard work to get leaked early when before you wanted to present it. But there is still a pretty high expectation. We're going to be learning something about it on Pokemon Day this year, which is in February. So we shouldn't have to wait too long before we get some information. It is expected that this game will be releasing on the original Switch. It will not be a Switch 2 release. And then that would mean that Generation 10 will likely release on the Switch 2, not the original Switch. So this will be the last original Switch game, and then all Pokemon games going forward will most likely be using the Switch 2's upgraded graphics and capabilities, which should be very exciting moving forward. Hopefully, we won't get another Scarlet and Violet with all the technical issues now that we have a beefed up Switch. With Mega Evolution returning, it's very likely that Pokemon are going to be receiving new Mega Evolutions. The Terra leak indicated that Zeraora is going to be getting one, and potentially Zygarde will be getting a Mega Evolution. I think it's highly probable that a lot of Gen 6 Pokemon are going to be receiving Mega Evolutions in this game. Gen 6 is special in the way that it didn't have a third game to go with its core set. So the prophesized Pokemon Z, I would have assumed would have added more Mega Evolutions that were like centric to Kalos, and probably would have involved Gen 6 Pokemon receiving Mega Evolutions. So probably the starters, Greninja, Delphox, Chestnut. I could see Talonflame, Goodra, the fossil Pokemon. There's lots of Gen 6 Pokemon that I would assume will probably get a Mega Evolution. I think it'd be hilarious if they gave Furfrou one. I just think that'd be funny. We'll see what happens. Finally, let's talk about the anime a little bit. In the Japanese release of the anime, Lucius's team has finally been assembled by the Rising Volt Tacklers. His original team was Lapras, Rayquaza, Kleavor, Galarian Moltres, Arboliva, and then it's either Entei or Gouging Fire. We're not entirely sure. Some images are showing that it's Entei, some images are showing it's Gouging Fire. Either way, team is absolutely stacked. It should be fun to see them in action um, along with the characters in the show. So just thought I'd give that little tidbit out here before we wrap up. So thanks so much for watching Pokemon News. We'll be back in February with new tidbits, and of course, we'll be covering all of the Pokemon Day information when they do their presents on Pokemon Day. So all that information will be summarized and given here on the channel. This has been Ming Oblivion Plays. It's been a pleasure giving you some more Pokemon information, and we'll be back soon. Adios.